Hi guys, welcome back to Till Death. I'm Dr. Roz.
That's your man, Kil. Y'all can see the discussions we had off camera.
Oh my gosh.
I Brodied this for the last 3, even though I got Brodied for 2. Brody is a Philly word for like taken, pushed out the way. So when you hear me say I got Brodied, that means like I got robbed, I got pushed out the way. So I got Brodied for 2, but it is what it is. So today is Roz's topic of what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about the man's willingness to learn how to be a better sexual partner.
What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think if you are told that you suck in the bed,
right,
that it affects you more than you realize. It's an ego effect at that point, and now you got to go out and try to bang somebody else to prove that that's a lie. And it's to the point that women feel like they can't tell you that because they feel like you can't handle it.
Okay.
That's not something that a man can handle, I don't think.
Okay.
Unless he's very secure with himself.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I think anything in this life, in this game, has to come down to how you say things.
I agree.
If you go get your child tested, and you find out that your child is slightly mentally retarded, you aren't going to go home and tell your kid you're a dumbass and you're retarded. You're not going to do that.
No, you're not.
Because you don't want to kill the kid's self-esteem.
Right.
Is he slightly, retarded? Yes, he is. But you're going to find a safe way
to say it.
A nice way.
Yeah.
To say it.
And
then you know what else you're going to get for him? You're going to get him the best stuff that you can. Absolutely. To be able to make him be able to be successful in this cold world out here that he's about to have to live in, because he's not going to be normal. So,
but I can get you all these things, but I can't make you utilize it.
You're absolutely right. And we spoke about this earlier. I do think the male's ego feels some kind of way because throughout life, I don't think men have been focused on trying to please women.
No, it's about you guys.
That's number one. Number two,
I mean, listen to the songs. I'm going to beat it up. What woman you don't want to be beat up?
You know the funny thing about that? I was online the other day. Now, I didn't watch the Grammys. I just cannot take the buffoonery that comes with any type of award show. It used to just be the BET. I can't do none of it. But I guess after Chris Brown performed,
yeah, I know girls on Twitter talking about he can hit me in my eye if I do this.
He can beat me. He can do this.
Not that beat it up.
No. I know what you're talking about. But I'm just saying that where we're at in society. So yeah, there are some girls and women who want it beat up the way that we're talking about. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, and it's. This goes back to
I can promise you she probably wants to beat up because she thinks that's what you really want.
Okay. So it all goes back to why we shouldn't be having sex before men.
I agree with that.
This is what it all goes back to. Because what happens is this. I'm having sex. Back around my way, the big thing, we would show off our backs to show off if the girl scratched us. It'd be like, take all. You was really getting in if you got a couple of scratches. Gotcha. My man Michael, he'd be like, yo, Nikki was tearing me up. Look at my back. Oh, yeah, I do. So for us, that's how we know we're accomplishing something. Like, to be honest with you, I don't even know where I even found out women orgasms
that could have been hurting her.
Even come together.
The scratches, she might have just was holding off and did like because she was in pain.
But it doesn't matter for us. But this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter what she was going through. It matters that I got the scratch marks on my back.
And this is why.
To prove that what's going on. So then what happens to it so that now my ego's big because my back is getting scratched up. Then second, like you said earlier, you have women who fake orgasms. So you have women who are screaming and doing all of this. Now, if this is the way that the majority of women in a guy's sexual past has acted from 14 to say 30 until I get married.
You know what you're doing and you don't.
I think I know what I'm doing.
And you don't.
Okay, and I understand that. But, and again, then maybe, and I don't know where this class comes into the curriculum, but maybe we should teach girls, don't act like it feels good. I don't know what.
But
because
the thing is,
at the end of the day,
if you did that, then now she becomes boring in bed. So if she doesn't give you some kind of feedback, her reputation is at stake too.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, at the end of the day, and then, I want to go back to the point that you said. You said that you guys, it's not about how we feel or what's going on with us.
Right.
And that's how you guys see sex.
Mm-hmm.
And if nobody brings it to your attention, that's how you will always see sex. Hence why you might have that wife that don't want to sleep with you. Because she know it ain't about her.
Okay.
You only having sex when you want to have sex.
Okay.
You only having sex when it's convenient for you.
So yeah, then I agree that as men, we have to be willing to listen. I think as men, we have to be willing to do some self-reflection and see that, yes, we may have thought we've been beating it up for 20 plus years, But
that's the thing. Don't nobody want to be beat up.
The
vagina is a gift. It should be precious and treated with.
But Roz, I understand what you're saying. But let me tell you something. Okay.
All right.
And because you have to realize that the majority of marriages have been having sex before they got married.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean with each other, not with other people, but together. That they've been having sex.
Yeah.
So you've got to understand that this continually goes back to the epiphanies that women have once you all get married. Because that woman who is now your wife once used to say, beat this up harder, F me like da 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 da, flip me over, choke me, seriously, I'm dead serious.
I know.
All I'm saying is that as a wife, while we're doing a self-reflection, you have to look at yourself.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
See that I played a part in what could hurt his ego because for the 8 years we were together before we got married, I was the screamer. I was. Now, regardless if you did that to make him feel good or you did that to get the ring, again, with women, it's just fill in the blank. It don't even matter. It's the fact that you did it. So you're right. It is going to be a hit to the ego that, what do you mean I'm not beating this up? You used to tell me, X, Y, and Z. And I was lying. Because that's what you have to say, right?
Yeah.
I was lying. So then that's going to hurt my ego because you were lying.
Well, but not even that. But
and is it right to lie?
No, it's not. But now I need to experience sex differently.
But is it right to lie?
That may have been cool in that moment. No, it's not.
Okay.
That may have been cool in that moment, but now I need to experience sex differently, and that's why I say when women hit their peak. Yeah, because you have to understand, you guys start much earlier than us.
Your peak. Do you know what I'm saying?
You need to understand the peak.
No, Roz, because this goes back to the thing.
Ask your wife about that peak.
There's a peak whenever y'all get married. What's the peak? What's the age of the peak? Tell me the age. And I'm going to show you a chick who's not married, who hit her peak, who's still acting like her man is tearing it up.
No. You have the wrong idea of the peak.
Okay, what's the peak?
The peak is when we want to, and we understand what sex is to our body.
Okay.
And hold on.
And you only understand that when you get married, right?
No. I mean, this is for single women.
Right, but there are single women out there. Roz, we've already established. I need this. What do they call stenographers? Stenographer. I need a stenographer. Anybody out there studying stenography? Hit us up tilldeathinfo.com. I need a stenographer here, not the one in heaven. I need one here because we need to put this out that at the end of the day, so we can stop talking about this. Women can reach their peak, but at the end of the day, you do whatever you need to do before you get married. It's the same thing we talked about with the frontal lobe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't agree with that.
So
I can't agree with
you're telling me
that
the woman who has reached
you keep
her
throwing
peak,
marriage into it.
Right?
It's not about marriage at all. It's an age thing at this point for women.
So the woman who has reached her peak, let's say this woman has reached her peak at 36, and she's having sex with her boyfriend, who she wants to become her husband. She's now no longer going to fake orgasms. Because
I'm not saying that. No.
Because what I seem to hear is these conversations come after marriage?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
These conversations could happen at any time.
Okay.
But I think you need to understand.
I have never heard the conversation coming before marriage. I have never heard the girlfriend telling the boyfriend, "You're not pleasing me."
What time did you get married? How old you when you got married?
I was 26.
Exactly. She ain't
No. But there are people. But guess what? It ain't. I got friends who got married at 37, 38, 42, 47. And guess what? Their wives weren't telling them, "You ain't hitting it right." But I would assume if the chick is 44, she's hit her peak. But don't tell me she's a late blossomer down. No, it's just when we get married. It's just...
Take the marriage out the equation. Here's what I'm trying to get you to...
What I'm saying is that girlfriend... I want the girlfriend to tell the boyfriend, "You're not pleasing me." And for some reason, those conversations don't happen.
We're talking about two totally different things. So... the sexual peak, I'm not even talking about that in terms of being pleased by the man, being pleased by the woman. I'm not even talking about that.
Okay.
Take the marriage out the equation. But you need to understand that at a certain point in a woman's life, she hits the sexual peak.
Okay.
So while you may be on the decline, she's on the incline.
Okay. But what does that have to do with being pleased?
It has a lot to do with being pleased.
So
because in this moment,
put it this way,
she's figuring out more and more what pleases her.
So all I'm asking is this. If you're having sex with a guy who you are just boyfriend and girlfriend with, because what I've heard from you is that, yes, women are doing this to satisfy your ego. Women may be doing this to get married. Women are having sex and doing all these wild and crazy things because they know it's what will please us. Even though their frontal lobe has been formed, even though they've reached their peak and they know they're not being pleased, they're still going to do all this stuff for you. Now that we're married, see, this is why
women are loyal.
But this is why, no, women are sneaky, because that's what I'm hearing. Because
no, because you're seeing it totally different, and I need you to really understand. A woman wants to please you. Okay. We go into this thing pleasing. You guys don't. You already said it. You said that you don't care about what the sex is for us. But it's about what? No.
You're really not pleasing us. Hold on. You're catering to our ego. That's not pleasing us. Hold on. That's something totally different. That's
what I'm saying. We don't understand.
You don't understand that at 42. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. You don't understand that at 42.
No, okay. I'm not saying that. I was about to say we're gonna have to stop the tape.
You don't know that at 42.
No, okay. What I'm saying is.
I just hear a lot of excuses.
What I'm saying. No, you don't. But it's not excuses. That's what
all I'm saying is this.
You can't fight. Hold on.
But this is how it should work. If I reach,
hold on.
If I reach my sexual peak,
you can't fight.
I'm not. But that's my thing. Is that if I reach my sexual peak at 36,
whoever
I'm having sex with, once I reach that peak, I should be able to say, you know what, Ronnie, you ain't hitting this right. Whether Ronnie's my husband, my boyfriend, or just a jump off dude. That's biology. So that's all I'm saying that needs to happen. If once you reach that sexual peak, once that frontal lobe is formed, and you about to go out to the car to give some head, you should be like, no matter who it is. What I'm saying is that you women continue to do it once the peak is reached, once the lobe is formed, once everything is done,
you still don't understand
until you get married.
You still don't understand the sexual peak.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
When we get the sexual peak, now is the sex is for us.
Okay.
All up until that time, it's been for you.
Right. But now I'm at the peak, and I'm with my boyfriend, Ronnie. Now I know it's about me. Shouldn't I be telling Ronnie, you ain't hitting this right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that you probably wouldn't.
But most women don't. Like you said.
Because they know they do. They know the dude they're dealing with.
But
he probably can't handle it.
But the thing is this. Then why do you say it in marriage? Because you've reached the peak. You keep saying it's about the peak. The peak. You've reached the peak. Why don't you tell Ronnie now? Because he can't handle it. So now you wait 3 more years. So you've had the peak for 3 years now. Until you get married. Now you want to tell Ronnie you ain't hitting it right. That's not right. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not disagreeing with the frontal lobe. I'm not disagreeing with the peak or anything with biology. I'm just saying that why does it happen all at once in marriage? Because that, to me, it's like a kid. I'm hungry. I want to eat now.
You still don't understand what marriage is for the woman.
But all right,
and you need to.
Until
you understand that transformation of girlfriend to wife.
But just work with me.
You're not going to be able to understand.
But just work with me on this. Shouldn't she tell Ronnie, when she gets the peak, no matter who Ronnie is. Shouldn't she? Because now she knows. I'm cool with ignorance. If you don't know, then cool. Wipe the slate clean. But once you've hit that peak, once the lobe is formed, you now know. So shouldn't you tell Ronnie? No matter who Ronnie is?
Ronnie might can't
No. Just yes. Shouldn't you tell Ronnie? Just
Ronnie
yes.
might can't handle it.
That's a yes.
No,
That's a yes.
I'm just saying.
No,
Ronnie
Roz,
might can't
seriously.
handle it. And
No,
you
but
know
Roz,
the emotional
Roz,
process of
Roz,
your dude. Go
Seriously.
on.
No, Roz, seriously.
Kill.
Shouldn't
if
you,
I told
Roz,
you,
no, Roz,
you
just
suck.
Listen,
Can
just
you
listen.
deal with that? No.
Listen to what I'm saying. But shouldn't you tell Ronnie now that you know? Just yes or no. The answer is yes, you should tell Ronnie. But then say, but your man can't handle it, blah, 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 blah. But the answer is yes, I should tell Ronnie. Because now I know. I'm no longer ignorant to what's going on. I now know. But I choose not to tell him. I choose not to tell him. So the answer is yes. But I choose not to tell him because it would crush him. So what I do is I keep faking it for another 2 years. Then Ronnie marries me. Now I tell him. But won't it still crush Ronnie 3 more years later? Yeah. So why tell him now?
Because you're in a better position to tell him.
Because you're married.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I want to get across to everybody. Is that I just believe.
But it's not trickery.
Okay, it's not trickery.
It's not trickery.
Okay.
And I don't want you to have our male viewers thinking that women go out to trick.
I won't say.
You're just in a better position. You maybe you guys have grown more, emotionally closer to each other.
9 times out of 10 you haven't. Because we aren't growing no closely, y'all. It don't change for us. So fine,
but it does
but
for
you
us.
know what? Right, and I understand that. So
us.
fine, it doesn't have to be trickery. But all I'm saying is that I agree with the biology. I agree with your PhD. I agree with everything. I'm just saying that I think, and this is going to be another time because I wrote this down. I'm wondering, is this why so many marriages don't work?
Yeah, probably.
And is this why so many men go out and cheat? Because you get married, and now
who are they cheating with?
Hold tight. And now you get married, and now here comes a list of everything that's been wrong for the past 8 years. And you're like, well, why didn't I get this list before I brought this ring? Why didn't I get this list before I just spent $12,000 on a wedding? Why didn't I get this list before I decided I just wanted to be with you for the rest of my life? So, and I just want
those things wouldn't have happened.
Just listen. Exactly.
You were rolled out because you couldn't deal with it.
Which would make a man say,
y'all can't handle the truth.
This tricked me. That's what the man would say. Now, I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or whatever. We're just talking about how you would feel. How would you feel if you left your good job and somebody had a better job for you and told you everything was going to be like this? You're going to have your own office. You're going to have your own corporate credit card. You're going to have your own parking space. Then you get to that job and it's like, oh, that parking space I promised you? I'm sorry. Now you're going to have to pay for that every month. It's $150 a month. Oh, that corporate credit card? No, it's a debit card, and you have to put the money in the account to be able to spend it. What would you feel like? You would feel like I was tricked. And you know what you 9 times out of 10 start doing? Finding another job. So what you need to do is have a conference with women who are single and ask who's reached their peak. Break all this psychology and biology down to them. Who's reached their peak? Well, you need to go home and tell your man today what's going on with you. Because you're going to have to tell me eventually, right? You're going to have to tell me eventually.
Because most women, here's the thing about women, is that they will find a way to satisfy that need to not hurt you. Why do you think there's so many toys that are developed? They ain't developed for y'all.
Nah.
They're developed for women.
And that's...
So women have found a way to try to mitigate not getting their needs met.
But what I'm
the way
saying
they
is
need
this.
them met.
We're here to try to help marriages.
I agree with that.
So what I'm saying is,
I agree.
You need to have a women's conference.
Well, yeah.
Who's got their frontal lobe? Whose lobe is filled? Whose lobe is filled? Who's at their peak? Okay, now we got all the people who ain't filled it at their peak. You go on that side of the room, and you gonna have somebody else deal with them, and you deal with the peak fillers and the lobe frontiers.
But sometimes,
and what you do is you explain to them, look, y'all. You have got to put on the table what's going on for your man right now.
Yeah,
because maybe it's not trickery, but that's what it's going to look like to them. Because for some women, it is trickery. For others, I'll give y'all the benefit of the doubt, it ain't. But it's going to look and it's going to feel like trickery.
But and if sometimes you don't know, though. Sometimes you don't know.
Well, because I told you. Because you said sometimes you don't know, but you said you just said.
No, wait. Okay. Hold on. Sometimes you don't know, because remember, you have to understand there is a very distinct difference in feeling from girlfriend to wife. You guys don't understand that because you don't have that transformation. You said, based on what you said, you don't have that transformation. So we go in thinking, oh, it's going to get better. And then it doesn't get better. So sometimes you don't know. Maybe you haven't reached your peak before you got married.
But that's why I said, but what's the first thing I just said? We're going to take all the people who haven't reached their peak. If you haven't, you over there.
Right. I get what you're saying, but I just wanted to clarify.
For them. But we talking about your conference that we're going to have is going to cost. And you are going to get the peakers. And you are going to say, you need to go home and tell your man today, it ain't working and things need to get better. And if he leaves you, guess what? You's going to probably have to tell me eventually, so let him leave you now and not leave you with 2 kids and no child support with the divorce. So all I'm saying is because that's what's happening. And that's what's been going on with these videos for the past couple of weeks is the more I listen to you, the more I just see all these things all these changes that come with marriages that weren't here with the relationship. Now, keep in mind, I only married you based off of the way things are right now. So now I get married. Now all of a sudden,
so now you have to do an understanding process.
Now all of a sudden, sex starts in the kitchen. I'm not hitting it right. I'm not getting my stripper heels. All these things are changing. So what that tells me is I don't want to be here because you aren't the person I married. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because I understand you all are changing. But for some women who know and just keep, because what you're doing is,
I change too, though.
But what I'm saying is this: I'm not going to become a total. Like for instance, this is what I mean by being a change and becoming a totally different person. If you're a freak in the bed with me, right? And now we get married and you're not a freak. To me, you've changed. Okay? If I used to go to church before I got married and now I don't go to church, I've changed. I don't think most men change. That's a very drastic change because one of the reasons I married you was because you go to church. So if all of a sudden the day after the wedding, you're like, okay, come on, let's go fellowship. And I'm like, nah, I don't do that no more. You would be like, I don't think we change like that. I'm not saying men don't change, but I don't think we change drastically like, well, you said you wanted kids. Oh, no, I don't want kids no more. See, that's how you all are changing. You all are drastically pulling the rug from under. I'm just being honest with you. If you were a freak before and now you're not, that's a drastic change. That's a drastic change.
But you need to look at what is taking place to contribute to that change.
What has taken place from what I've heard, because I listen to you, is that the frontal lobe has been formed, you've reached your sexual peak, and that now you understand that you want to be fulfilled. So I understand that that's what has taken place. But you have to understand for me is that I didn't marry you, because of that.
I get that.
One of the things that what we need to do in our premarital coaching that we do with people is explain to the women about sexual peaks. Maybe women don't know. They have a sexual peak.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm just not hearing about it.
Right.
I'm hoping I get there one day.
But these are the things that people need to understand because, like I said, this is why a lot of men are like, the hell with this because you aren't who I married. Now, again, that's the moral to the story. I'm not saying that for justifiably good biological reasons, you aren't the person I married. The moral is you aren't the person I thought you were. And I don't think most women can say that about men change. They may be like, well, he used to give me flowers all the time. Now he doesn't. I don't think that's a drastic change. You know what I mean? I don't think...
It could be, though. It could be. Because she may be interpreting that as... And it's another topic.
Right.
But she could be interpreting that as inconsideration.
All I'm saying is, I'm a saved Christian before marriage, and I'm not anymore. To me, is a little bigger than he don't give me flowers.
Yeah, but still.
She don't cook as much as she used to cook, but she still cooks.
Stuff. You have to look at what the situational factors are.
Okay, but I'm just saying that for the man, and Pastor Jeffrey Johnson said this once. If I knew I was only going to, if he knew he was only going to get sex once a month, he wouldn't have married me. Now, again, women.
Then it comes back to, do you really love me?
But listen,
did you really want to be my husband?
Pastor Jeffrey Johnson, who you love, said that. I didn't say that.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying what's the follow-up question to that?
What's the follow-up question?
Yeah, do you really love me?
Yeah, I really love you. But I really...
So your love is contingent on sex? You spending the rest of your life with me is contingent on sex?
Isn't your love contingent on... Keep in mind I said love. Isn't yours contingent on me pouring into you and me saying all these things? Because if I don't do all this, you told me I was with the next dude. Yeah, you're going to still love me with the next dude. That's what you said. That if I'm not doing this, she's going to talk to the guy on the bus. Right?
Yeah, but that don't mean that she's going to go all the way. Y'all take it all the way.
Go all the way?
Yeah. You know what? That's the next one.
Yeah, that could be the next one. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day...
Because that's another 1,200.
At the end of the day, men have to stop getting a memo in the mail.
And at the end of the day, you need to create the environment to where she can be honest with you.
I totally agree
and
with you.
Tell you those things. And not fear that you will retaliate against her in the relationship and do things outside of the relationship to get back at her, because it's how you're dealing with the hurt.
Roz, I totally agree with you. I have no beef about that. I am an advocate for I want to please my wife. You just have to tell me what I can do to please you. So I'm an advocate for men listening to what their wives have to say. You know, I'm saying wives, talk to him like you're talking to your special ed child, that you would not want to hurt his feelings, and that you say it in a certain way, and that you let him know that everything's gonna be okay, because we're gonna go see some sex therapists, or we're gonna figure out some things together, and everything is gonna be okay. But all I'm saying is that this list has to come before marriage, if you've reached your peak, or these are things that need to be talked about in premarital counseling to let people know who are getting married at 24 and 25 that these are things that are coming down the pike. Maybe that's the question that needs to be asked in marriage counseling, premarital counseling. Is he hitting it right? Maybe that's the woman to woman thing.
He's supposed to be hitting it.
Well, I mean, but I gotta deal with reality. Is he hitting it right? And if the woman is like, no, well then that's something you need to work on right now.
Yeah, but she may not. But my thing is, she may not. That's the thing. When I say she may not know,
she may not.
She may not know in that moment.
But what I'm saying is this: you know if you're faking an orgasm. I would hope you know if you're faking an orgasm. See,
orgasms for us are totally different for you.
Okay,
guys.
no, but what I'm just saying is that if you do know if you don't enjoy sex, right? Because
sometimes you don't know.
Because you. All right, now I'm confused. Because you said girls sometimes for years have sex and they're really not even enjoying it.
But what I'm saying is that they don't realize it until they get to that sexual peak. That was my point. They don't realize that, oh, this is what I've been doing all this time. And this hasn't felt good, but then they get that one moment, they get that light bulb moment when they hit their sexual peak, and they be like, God, dog, I wasted all this on this dude,
women,
on these dudes, or whatever
that they enjoy.
Yeah, it's a thought that you enjoy, because you gotta understand it's emotional connection. It's an emotional connection. So if you were still there at the end of the day, and you still want to be with her, then she's thinking, okay, the sex is, I'm enjoying the sex, because she wants that emotional connection with you. Now, don't get me wrong, we like to get it tapped, for lack of better words, but it's that emotional connection that we desire more.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Roz.
I'm confused. And TillDeafInfo.com.
Are you really still confused?
I'm confused because the more I hear you talk, I thought women was deep as it is. Y'all are like trigonometry. Like, y'all ain't algebra. Y'all ain't algebra true. Y'all ain't geometry. Y'all are trigonometry.
We're not.
No, you really are. You really are. And again, that's just biology. That's just the way it is. But it's just, to me, it shows me how much wider the gap is between men and women.
Yeah. And
it just kind of shows how much more work we have to do. I knew we had work to do. Y'all know I talk about marriage as work. I feel defeated right now. I feel like this ain't even.
I mean, because I had an epiphany for real, Epiphany, when you said, you know, that sex isn't about us. And so just think if you have two people that can't be honest with each other and are having this sex, and he's still thinking it's about how I make her scream in the bedroom and not about, am I really hitting her G-spot? Right. Am I really giving her clitoral stimulation? Right. Am I really giving her the climax that she deserves? Because for me, from what you said, it's like we don't deserve to get off. It's all about.
I never said that. I believe
younger. Younger. And it's like we don't deserve to get off. And so if you keep carrying on with that mindset, then you kind of tricking us too. Because you're just seeing us now as this is my piece that I can pump off into.
We're not tricking you because that's how we've always seen it.
Right. But we don't realize that. But when you telling me, girl,
ain't my fault. That ain't my fault.
Oh, so
I'm being that serious. That's not my fault.
So it ain't our fault either. Then
if me and you start having sex and I'm hitting it and you screaming and Kil, it's all yours, well, how is that my fault?
Yeah, but what if you?
It's my fault? You say it is all mine? But why does everything become the man's fault? Everything keeps getting thrown back to us.
You know what?
TillThatFearful.com. I'm confused. She's the confuser. We'll be back. We will be back.
I am not. I'm Dr. Roz.
And I'm Kil. Keep alive.